to get us going here. I'm fired up about today. I don't know about y'all. It's Monday, and it's a good day to be above the ground. And it ends in Y, like all the good days do. And I'm just excited about it. My name is Mike Alleman. Welcome to the call. If this is your first time with us, we are Alleman Group, Alleman Agency, Yankee Agency, Alleman Financial. We go by many names, but here's one thing: we're good people. That's what I like saying. And tonight we got Jonathan Yankee is going to be hosting us tonight, and just want to let y'all know that tomorrow for our sales meeting, the Fitz Group, just going to give y'all a heads up. Mike and Michelle, me and her, we're going to be running it, and got some good stuff. Got some good advanced training planned right now is what I'm doing, and ready to just rock and roll. But with that, Johnny, it is yours, baby. Yours.
Sweet. Can you hear me good? Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited too. Now you can see my whole face without the hat. So,
little things.
That's right. That's right. But thanks. First of all, thank you for being on the call. Lucas, Jeff, Katie, Juanita, everybody. We could be doing many other things tonight at 7:30. So I got some stuff to share with you, and I really hope that it's encouraging, number one, and that it is helpful to your business, hopefully in a monetary way, because we are in business for a profit, right? So my topic tonight is going to be schedule. This week, I was thinking about what I could share and contribute to the team, and that's something that kind of just came to my mind over and over throughout the week. And so some of you may not know my story. If you're new, when I started, so it'll be next month will be 6 years from when I actually got my insurance license. And when I started, I was like, pretty much most of us, I think, I was like, I'm not really sure, how this is going to work because I've never done sales before. However, there's relationships, like early on, I had relationships with people pretty quickly. And that's really what's kept me here, to be really honest with you, is just the relationships that I've been able to build and people I've been able to get to know over time, right? So one thing I knew is, hey, I trust these people and I can see how well they're doing. So I know if I just apply what I'm learning, I can have the same or better success, right? And so when I started, I was like, look, I don't know how to make this work because I was working 60-hour weeks roughly. I was working for Walmart in management on the distribution side. So we sent all the freight that you see in Walmart to the stores and worked a lot. But when I started, I only had a little bit of time in my schedule. So I think you're obviously on the call, so it's obviously in your schedule. But I think something that's really important to make note of, even for us that have been here a while, not just people that are starting that are new, is, hey, what time each week do I have to set aside for my business, right? Because when I started, it was just to make extra money to pay student loans. That was really my number one goal of why I started. So I had to ask myself, I have a full-time job that is more of a priority, obviously, because they're paying me a salary. So I need to show up to that first. But outside of that, what time do I have that I can set aside and commit to this business, right? So I encourage you to continue to ask yourself that, because I'm still asking myself that now as I've grown. But ask yourself that question and then share it with someone, preferably Mike and Michelle if you're in the agency. but you can share it with someone else that's, a top producer, and just say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Check my thoughts on it, right? There's a book called First Things First. I don't know if any of us, some of us have probably heard of it, but it's a really good book, and it just talks about putting the most important things in your schedule first. And there's a story in there that stuck out to me. It's a lady who had just had her first baby. I know nothing about having kids, but the story did stick out to me. And it was talking about how she was so stressed out about getting everything done with her new child that she kind of forgot what was important, which is just spending time with her newborn, right? And it goes on to explain, when she put everything down and just focused on what's the most important thing in my life right now, it's the baby. So she focused her energy on that first, and then everything seemed to work out for her, all the other details, because she was focused on the most important thing, right? And so that can apply to anything in life, but it can definitely apply to this business too. And continue to ask ourselves, like, hey, am I spending time on the right stuff? For example, if you're already licensed, are you spending time training on how to book appointments, get better at appointments, having appointment times in your schedule, right? Communicating with your management. Like, I have to shout out to Juanita. She's on the call, but she came to the office and booked 6 appointments today. It was awesome. And like, what, 2 hours, something like that? 2-3 hours, Juanita. So she obviously said, hey, this is a priority, so I'm going to show up, and look what happened. Appointments got booked. So it's cool whenever you make a decision to say, hey, I'm going to put this in my schedule first, how things work out for you. So I would encourage you to read that book, First Things First. It's kind of long, but it will really help you get a good grasp on putting things in your calendar that actually matter first. Not like things like going out to eat or watching TV. Those definitely don't need to go first in the schedule. So, for example, a team call that we have right now, I would say, is very important. So that should be something that should go into your calendar first every week. Hey, when is my smaller team call? And just make a decision to be on week in, week out. Because you're going to pick up something from someone. I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I always learn something every single time, Michelle. And Michelle's not any different than I am. She learned something too. It's just who we are as humans. And the people we listen to and hang around do affect our thought life as well. And I promise I'm going to wrap this up, and it's going to be very clean. So if I'm bouncing all over the place, just bear with me. Okay. There's also another book called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. It's been a huge contributor to my success, reading in general, but this book has really helped me keep my thinking right. And there's a quote in here. It says, we're beginning to comprehend a truth that if neglected, it's a big deal, right? But it's our physical condition is determined very largely by our emotional condition, and our emotional life is profoundly regulated by our thought life, right? What we think about. And who we hang around with, the relationships, and what we read, I believe, are the two most important things that do affect our thought life. They have been for me, at least since I've been alive. And being on a call is going to help you be around other people to help you get your thinking right, which is therefore you're going to be in a better emotional state and a better physical state. I know it's very psychological, but it's true. It has a big impact. And then from there, if you're in a good state there, you're able to help more people. We're not perfect, okay, none of us. So we are going to have days that aren't as good as others. But the more that we're consistent in getting on calls or getting around people to make sure our thinking is right, the better we're going to do. Here's another example. This week I was having a rough time. I was like, I need to talk to somebody because my thinking is not correct right now. So I was like, hey, Mike, you got a few minutes? Sat down, told him what I was dealing with, and he gave me a whole nother perspective that I couldn't come up with myself in the moment. Guess why? Because I was out of ideas. I could only see one side. So I asked someone else to help, and it did. So I just say that to encourage you, like, share your schedule with your leaders, share it with people you want to grow with, because it's going to create space for you to help more people, make more money, and get where you're trying to get to, because we all have different goals with the business. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, cool. Hopefully I'm not losing anyone. So outside of this call, another call I'd recommend, there's a lot of different calls, but definitely the sales call, because I think calls and reading, if someone asked me the other day, like, hey, how's your production been? How have you been able to get your production so high? I was like, that's a really loaded question. I had to think about it, but the two things that have helped me is the relationships, which are calls. You're going to be able to get to know people on a different level being on a call than you are not listening to it. You just are. I mean, otherwise you're going to have to go see them in person at an event, which we only have, 3-4 times a year. But when on a call, you're able to hear different stories, different perspectives, different backgrounds, and you're actually able to get to know people. But then also reading have been the two main things that have increased my production. It has not been because I'm special in some sort of way. It's literally been those two things, and making time for them on my calendar, right? Reading too, preferably early morning, late at night, when you're not seeing clients, but you get the picture. So the next call will be the sales call. I'll put in the team call first, then the sales call. And then after that, I would say product call would be my recommendation, because there's always products to learn. Like, I'm still learning products. But when you're able to hear it from an insurance company executive or someone like Michelle, like, we have a lot of different people on, Eric Belair, Marcus Richardson, and sometimes it's training, right? It's not products. It's like legitimate in-home training, phone script. So I think that if you're going to put 3 in your calendar, I would say those 3. And then you have the Wednesday call on Wednesday, and then the activity call on Friday, which, you can listen. If you're running appointments, you can listen to those later. But the sales call, the team call, and the product call, I would say would be the most priority. So make sure you're on those live every week. And it's only, 2.5 hours, basically? Something like that, 2 to 3 hours of your time. And then from there, I'd ask yourself, when am I making phone calls? Because there's only really 3 ways we make money in the business, right? Dialing the phone makes us money, because if we can't schedule an appointment, we can't help anyone. Therefore, we can't earn an income, right? So it starts with dialing. So that would really, after that, I was like, okay, what day am I going to dial? If it's part-time, because when I rewind to when I started, I only had 1 day to run business. So I had to ask myself, okay, what calls can I be on live? Because those are important, because there's people sharing stuff about where they're at, where I'm trying to get to. So I need to be on there to hear it and not having to go back to it later. I mean, if you have to, you can, but it's different when it's live. But then I had to ask myself, okay, I only have 1 day to run appointments, which was Friday. So I was like, well, I need to dial at some point on Thursday. So I said, okay, I'm going to dial Thursday morning, Thursday night to schedule my whole day Friday. And then fast forward, I made 30 grand part-time and then quit my full-time job and came into this full-time. So the business works, but you do have to be intentional about writing it down and intentional about, am I putting the right stuff in first? So the dials, that's the first way we make money. So you need to figure out, okay, if I'm running Friday and Saturday, if I'm running Tuesday and Wednesday, I need to be on the phone on Monday, preferably at 7:30 in the morning, so that I can eat that frog, as they say, get it over with. Okay. It feels really good when you show up at 7:30 and you've booked 10 appointments by 9:30. Just trust me, it feels really good. Not saying the evening time doesn't work, but you're going to have more success if you start early. And then the next way we make money is sitting kneecap to kneecap with clients. So first it's dials, then it's kneecap to kneecap. Yes, we've done sales on the phone, but the majority of our business is seeing clients. I mean, COVID's pretty far gone. We can start seeing people, and people want to see you. You're going to get more referrals that way. Your business is going to be better that way. You're going to have families where you write like 20 people, which I'm up to like 15 at this point. And I never thought that would be the case, but it'll happen if you go see the people. Then the third way we make money is sharing what we do with someone else, right? So another example is Juanita had Sharice in the office. So she shared what we do with someone else. Therefore, that's going to help earn income, right? So having that in your calendar as well. And it doesn't have to be, because I know there's some new people on here. It doesn't have to be like this perfect scheduled thing all the time. It just has to be, hey, am I just sharing the opportunity with someone each week? And it's as simple as, hey, we're in the insurance industry. We have people asking for us to help them. You get paid about $500 per sale. Is that something you would be interested in? We need help. And if they say yes, just send them to someone else to talk to. Or schedule another time to talk about it, right? It could be myself. It could be Michelle, Mike, right? If you're on our team, you don't send them to someone else's team, obviously. But then that takes the pressure off you, especially if you're new, right? So having those three things in the calendar, I think, is really crucial to your success each week, because you never know. If you don't share the opportunity with someone, you really never know what you might miss, right? You really don't. Because the worst thing someone could say is, no, I'm not interested right now. And you can't keep the wrong person. You can't keep the right person from succeeding here. That's something to really keep in mind. If you're asking and letting people know what we do, the right person, you can't stop them from succeeding. And you can't really necessarily make the wrong person succeed either, right? Like, you can't force someone that's not going to do it to do it. Make sense? That's how I got started. Someone just told me, and I was like, all right, fired up, ready to roll. So hopefully I'm on track, making sense with everyone. The next thing I want to mention, after we kind of went on over the schedule, so hopefully everyone's clear, is the phone calls each week, what days you're going to run business each week, and then which is going to determine your dials, and then what time are you going to contribute to just telling other people about it, which you can really do that. You don't have to necessarily be running ads online or anything. You can share that with clients that you're sitting with. You can say, when you're done helping them, hey, do you know anyone who's interested in helping us out? Right? Everything works a little bit. it doesn't have to be, there's 9 different ways to skin a cat. As long as you're doing it and it's in your schedule and you've communicated with someone, that's the most important thing, because we are here to help you. I do want to make that point very clear. Like, we're here to encourage you, but like, we're glad you're on the call, because we legit, like, I personally want to help you get better, and I will do everything I can to help you, as long as you are doing the work that you're responsible for. I will literally bend over backwards to help. So I hope that's clear each week. Obviously, we can't come wake you up in the morning like, hey, it's time to get up. Like, we're adults, but there are a lot of things we can help you with. So I hope you know that. Like, you don't have to feel like you're bothering anybody. That's what we're here for. At least for me, I'm here to give back. I don't know, I'm speaking for other people on the call. So once you clear on your schedule, there's another quote in the book, Power of Positive Thinking, and it says, people are defeated in life not because of lack of ability. Okay, I'm going to say that again. People are not defeated in life because of a lack of ability, but for lack of wholeheartedness. Meaning, if you're doing something, whether it's part-time or full-time, it doesn't matter. While you're doing it, just give your best effort, right? Be wholehearted in that pursuit. And it's hard. That's hard. Like, I'm preaching to myself, because there's times, even when I'm sitting with someone, helping them with insurance, and I'm thinking about something else, when I should not be thinking about anything else. I should be wholeheartedly thinking about the person that's in front of me, right? And we're as humans, we naturally forget that, because life happens, right? We have information coming from the left and the right. We got the news telling us what's going on. Got my mama calling, telling me what's going on, right? It's life, and it's fine. But that's why we get on calls, is to be reminded. So I'd really encourage you, once you come up with a schedule, and your schedule is gonna, as you grow in the business, your schedule will evolve as you earn more money, as you get better, right? Because at some point you're going to get good enough where you're spending more time helping others than you are seeking help, right? And some of us takes longer than others. We're all different. But always remember, hey, am I giving all I have? Because I'm not going to be defeated by my ability. I'm going to be defeated by, am I giving it all I got? Right? And that's encouraging to me, because I definitely haven't, the success I've had here has not been an ability thing. It's been consistently trying to get better and doing my best, period. Right? Just has. And there's multiple other people I've met in the business. Brant Sundell from Florida has a crazy story about how terrible he was for a couple of years. But then all of a sudden, 3 years overnight success, because he just continued to show up and get better, right? And now he's top 10 every year pretty much in the country. So I just want to encourage you in that. Like, if you feel the feeling like my schedule sucks, I'm not doing as good as I should, it's okay to feel that way. And your schedule doesn't suck. Okay. You have a schedule. That's good. You're on the call. Just come up with something that you can commit to and share with someone, because we're going into the next 2 quarters of the year. And the last quarter is statistically bigger than all the other quarters combined. So you could legitimately have a better, from now until December, you could have your best deposits, your best applications, whatever you want to call it, your best recruits. You could have more from now until the end of the year than the first year times 3, times 2. Like, seriously, it doesn't take a lot. It just takes a little bit of focus and schedule. and I'm speaking to myself, I'm also speaking of a place of experience too. The weeks and the months that have been my best, I don't like looking at it, Mike, but it's the truth. We have every single month that I've had that's been good. I've had a very clear schedule, and I was reading, and I was on every single call live. Like, why the heck is this happening every time? But I look at it, even 2 years ago, I had something in my schedule where I was around other people for a short period of time. This call is only 30 minutes, right? And I was reading consistently for 15, 20 minutes a day. That's it. Because what it does is it keeps you focused on what's important. It keeps you focused on things that take away from your emotional energy, or it keeps you focused on stuff that doesn't take away from your emotional energy. Sorry. And it just works, you know? So I just want to encourage you in that. Like, I know everyone on the call does have goals, or you wouldn't be on. So if you can focus on those things, I promise you're going to have a really good next 2 quarters. Promise. And we'll be here to help you get there. But it starts with you. And just making that decision to say, hey, what time do I have to give the business? And am I going to give my whole heart to it? And am I going to lean on the team to help me? Because if you're doing the work, we're going to help you. Right? You know, like, my parents love me. That's unconditional. But I still have to earn their respect. Like, I can't just be like, all right, mom and dad, you love me, but I'm just not going to do anything. And I'm going to stay at the house and not work, right? Then my parents probably won't respect me much if that's the case. So it's the same with ourselves and in what we're pursuing. Is like, we love you and we want you to do well, but you also do have responsibilities where you have to meet halfway. So I hope that was encouraging. If anybody has comments, questions.
Well, Johnny, I would like to say, for those that don't know Jonathan, he is a top producer. And I'm sorry I didn't introduce you, Johnny, but most people on the call know you, but I have a couple of new people on the call today. And I just want to welcome Tammy Haggard on the call today.
Hey, Tammy.
She's brand new, got contracted today. I met her through your Aunt Marie. Aunt Marie is one of my customers. So through sharing that opportunity, we were able to help Tammy get started. She's already licensed and she's ready to roll. So I'm glad you were able to get on the call, Tammy. This is our small group. Every week you'll get to know more people on the team because other people do the presentations too. So, and Akeem, I just want to welcome you. I'm glad to see you here. And Betty, glad to see you here. And gosh, what a great team we have. All right. And so, does anybody, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Johnny, but I just wanted to Lucas, you're here. I know that you're writing your first application probably this week. And so we're excited about that. Lots of good energy on this call. So I'll turn it back to you, Jonathan and Mike.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, I mean, did anyone have any questions about what I went over at all? Or anything to add?
I think Johnny did a great job tonight. I think that a lot of what you're telling folks is you're very humble when it comes to what you're trying to do. Stephanie was giving you a round of applause. I saw that, and you know, like that kind of round. I love it. And you know, I think a lot of people miss out that, you know, we have mentors that are available to us through books. You know, you mentioned some books very early on. you know. And you also talked about getting support. I mean, that's what this, you getting to know people, and you get to know people through these calls. You get to know people through the dial sessions and all that. And I think, you know, like I'd just like to, I know Juanita was here today with some other agents in here working, and I just like to hear what she has to really kind of say. She's like, oh my God, he's gonna make me speak. Just real quick, like just a minute, and just, you know, like how good it, you know, what was your feeling after you were here for a little bit working and had some agents with you?
Thank you, Mike. It was pretty good, especially having Megan and Jonathan around you. The support is really important. It really makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. And then when you're trying to work, they can hear and help you course correct, and you know, and it gets a little bit better. And I can just say it was half as scary as I thought it was going to be. So it worked out. But you know, as they say, you have to, if you want to grow up, you have to show up. So it's hard, but I'm doing my best effort.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, it's hard for everybody, you know, and it's a lot easier to get through it when you got support and people around you, you know, and that's a huge part about schedule is there's a time, show up. And speaking of that, we, you know, we've got the time set up a couple times a week here in the office, open for dialing. Anybody's welcome to come in and do that. If you're just coming to watch, we may or may not be working in that time at that time, you know, but you are welcome to come here and be the person working. And we're also working on laying out schedule. I'll probably have it either next week, just kind of lay out a schedule of every other week where we're going to have a little bit more of a, we'll have another evening time where we can come together and gather and, you know, bring people who may be new to the experience or new to insurance, and we can talk to them about that. But really, it's about the community and getting to know each other, going over some advanced training and things like that. So I'm really excited about that. But it was good to see you here this morning.
Thank you.
So I'm excited. Michelle, anything else you want to do before we close out? Anybody else?
Well, I know that Juanita was able to get to Dallas last week, and we talked about, you know, getting to that bigger event. But I know it sure was good to see you there, Juanita, and I saw you growing a lot. And I don't know if you got to mention anything last week on the call, but if you didn't and you want to say one thing, I would love to hear it.
Well, my big takeaway is that showing up, and I have to say that everybody's great. You get support, you meet people. It's everything that Michelle and Mike and Jonathan are saying is true. And it's just showing up, getting engaged, seeing people, talking to different people, and just hearing what people have to say. It helps to make you, it helps to make one more step forward or two steps forward. And, you know, you have people that, you know, have your back, that you can trust and have your back. So, but it really gave me a big picture of what this business can be. And that was lacking for me. So I got to see a bigger picture of what everything that can happen.
Well, thank you so much, Juanita. We appreciate you being on the team, and you're a valuable member of our team. So we know that you're going to be very successful.
Thank you.
All right. So back to you, Mike.
That's it.
Right.
In the morning.
Catherine.
Stephanie, yes.
Okay. Hi. Sorry, I can't look straight into the camera, but I want to know between Johnny and I guess you and Michelle and Megan, do y'all have a, I mean, especially for some of the new agents, list of readings or materials that you would recommend for your nighttime and morning reads for 2021?
Yeah. For me, it was the 8 steps. There's a list of books. It's page 86 or 87, I believe. And the 8 steps to success book. I just started.
Start with that.
Yeah, I just started until I finished all those books. So, I mean.
Yeah, good. All right. I think some of the ones he mentioned early on, the power of positive thinking, I think those kind of, those that address what I call the deeper rooted issues allows you to get to the things that stop you from where you're trying to get, but so if you can deal with the positive thinking, I've seen people move tremendously when they just read something like that, grasp it, and just learn, oh, I can be more positive, and like everything, like a shower and everything, sometimes that wears off. That's why you got to do more reading, and you got to find the next book like that,
Okay.
But that's it. I mean, to me, that's a huge one. First things first is not necessarily a small one. So if you're looking to have one that you can read for a little bit, but eventually put you to sleep, that may be one. It's a little bit deeper, and then the power of positive thinking may be your morning book when you wake up to and get your day started, figure out which works. But start with those. And, there's a lot of good little small ones too. I'm looking up here on my shelf, which ones I got.
Well, I guess I should rephrase that. So I know that there for the new agents, yes, let's start off with the list of the 8 steps. But what about the 2021 list you got going on, Johnny? Like, I think Johnny Jr., I don't know who I'm talking to, this or that. I'm just kidding.
So I'm going back and rereading books that I've read in the past, to be really honest with you, because they're great books. And, after a certain period of time, you do tend to forget about what's in there, right? You need to refresh on it. So that's really what I've been doing this year, is just going back to a lot of good ones.
Yeah. And those, I think, Stephanie, in 2021, 2022, I think everybody just needs to understand that you're a different person than you were a year ago. So sometimes you're going to hear things that are just different. You maybe weren't there on that message that you didn't hear the message you were supposed to, Katie's saying my first year in network marketing. Michelle's got that in her office, it's the things we got to do to change where you're at. That's, like I said, mentors that have been dead. I got a little book here. Well, you can't see it. There you go. I'll try. There you go.
Nope, can't see it.
The Greatest Miracle in the World by Agamandino. And I like it because it's short and it's got like a lot of, really small. It looks big on the screen, but it's really small. So, things that you can carry around with you that you can just like, I've got 10 minutes. I got 3 minutes. I can pick up something and read for a little bit. Because I don't think any of these books are designed to read like a novel where you read it from cover to cover. Sometimes you just got to flip through it and find something to just start reading there. Be amazed at how good. Michelle?
Yeah.
I like the How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Sales. That's one of the best. Yeah. And what's that little teeny book, Johnny? It's almost a pamphlet. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the common denominator
of success.
Yep.
No, it's the one by Glenn somebody.
Oh, Skill with People.
Yeah, Skill with People. That's a great one to just look at a page or two. I mean, every chapter is like, a page. But it's very true, and that's a good one that'll help you with sales.
Well, we all have that, but I guess I also could maybe ask Mike, is there a way to put something on the Alleman group, like the website for just us to kind of come together? Because you can't put them on the chat, but because then it's gone. But maybe for everyone to kind of just like check off their books or make sure they're in the right field or what they feel like their leaders have received from these books, whether they're reading them the first time, second time, 10th time. But maybe something on the site, you think? Maybe?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we can put some liner notes up on it too. Like, this is what this person said, this is what this person said.
Yeah, and even if we don't have access to add it together or single, we could always send you that info.
Yep.
To add more, because some of it's just not even in our queue, and you just find a new book, and just like that weird thing that you were showing us. But I mean, that's just a thought. That's all.
Look, they vanish.
That, yeah. All right, guys. That was just my little input for the evening. There, I think that would be something cool. I mean, if we could just email it to you, Mike, and then you can add it to your, to the site.
Yeah, we'll pull something together for everybody. I like that idea.
Okay. Yay! I got a good thing going. Okay.
Love you, girl.
All right. Don't forget, Lilies. On the 22nd, it's going to be 1 year, and we are going to do the party on the 14th. As for Michelle and y'all schedule.
Very good. I love it.
All right. Mwah, mwah.
Thank y'all for being on the call tonight. And take one tip. Every time you're trying to go and look at Facebook, just get your Kindle or open your book and read it. I promise you, you probably get through books 10 times faster. If I did that one thing, I would too. So let's try to implement that.
I love it. All right, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Everybody enjoy the evening. And don't forget, look on the Slack channel. We're going to have the links to click on it. 10 o'clock. Going to be awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See y'all later.